Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Houzz Pro for Designers Manage webinar today. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to get your Manage account set up for success and walk you through everything that you need to know about how to utilize this product and tool and make sure that you are taking advantage of everything that it has to offer. First and foremost, what you will want to do is log into pro.houzz.com. I recommend that you actually bookmark this page and save it to your Google Chrome desktop so that you can access it really easily at any time. And what we're actually going to dive into today is this whole section on the left side, the manage portion right over here. This is where all of your business management will take place, from product sourcing to creating proposals, room boards, invoices, tracking, and time tracking as well. And I just want to be sure that you know how you should start taking advantage of this and diving in. So the first thing that we're going to do, that I encourage you to do actually, is start with your account settings. So go ahead and click on your account settings. And this is where you're going to set up all of the details that pertain to your business so that you can have populated documents with your company's information and logo and all of your relevant details on these documents going forward. So what you'll see over here is the account information tab. All you need to do is upload your logo, all of your company's information, and this information will populate onto all documents that you create, whether it's room boards, tear sheets, proposals, invoices, through the system. Okay. The payments tab is where you're able to set up your account to receive online payments. So if you do wish to collect bank transfer or credit card payments from your clients on any retainers, proposals, or invoices, all you'll need to do is set up your account to do so. What will happen is once you submit all of this information and click verify my account, your account will be verified within about 4 or 5 minutes. And all that you will need to do going forward is simply select the payment options that you wish to enable on the document level. Okay. And bank transfers and credit card payments that are made through the system are deposited into your account in 2 to 3 business days. The team and rates tab is where you'll be able to add additional team members and set up your own rates associated with your business, your billable hours. So by default, you'll see over here that we have a couple of pre-populated rates for admin, travel, and designer rate. All that you'll need to do is edit it by clicking on that little pencil button and enter the accurate rate. If you do wish to add an MSRP, for example, if you're going to be positioning your time as a discount off MSRP, all you'll need to do is enter the MSRP here, mark your time as billable or not, and save it. Okay, and you could do that for the others. And if you do have any team members that will be accessing the management solution, all you'll need to do is click Add Team Member, enter the team member's details with their email address. This is the same email that they will use to log into the management solution. And you'll see all of the different permission sets that you have the ability to set for this team member. So whether you want them to be able to see your billable rates, access your client-facing documents like invoices and proposals, purchase orders, and your account settings, you'll be able to select that on an individual basis over here. Okay. So this is one of the first things I would do. Just remember, if you are adding team members, they will have their own login. They will receive an email to access the platform. But what they will specifically be accessing is only the management portion. They will be actually logging into the system Ivy rather than Houzz Pro. Sales tax, this is where you can add frequently used sales taxes for your company. So you can set default settings to determine whether products or services are taxable by default. And then you can also upload and add additional sales tax rates that are frequently used. So these will be selected from a drop-down menu going forward. on all of your projects or documents. Your company settings tab is only visible if you are the account administrator. And here's where you could set default project memos to appear on all of your documents going forward. So it's a one-time input for easy use going forward. And personally, I've seen these memos range from one line, which simply says all terms and conditions apply, all sales are final, to actually very lengthy full terms and conditions that run a page long. So it is completely up to you what you want to put here, but just know that anything that you do is the right answer. There is no right or wrong answer here. Okay. Additionally, we have some default project emails. So if you do plan to send any documents through the system, you also have the ability to determine what those emails will be so that you don't need to repetitively type these out going forward. Of course, you can always override this on the project level or even on the document level, but you can set a default as to your tone of voice for the company and how you want to address that. With your project settings, if you want to enable progressive invoicing, that is an opt-in feature. You can simply opt in over here. By default, that is turned off. And again, with your email settings, if you do want to enable past due payment reminders to send your client a friendly nudge about those past due payments, you'll be able to set them up over here. Okay. Now with addresses, this is where you're going to want to add any frequently used addresses here. So if you do have any addresses that you are working with, like a receiving warehouse, this is simply to select from a drop-down menu your addresses on the document level. So on purchase orders, if needed, this is a really incredible tool to just store your frequently used addresses. Okay. Awesome. So let's go ahead and dive into the projects overview. This is where you'll be able to see once this account is actually populated with additional information, you'll be able to see a breakdown of your project revenues, your total hours billed, any upcoming to-dos over here, as well as revenue from your markups. So it will give you at a glance an overview of what's going on within your business. However, when it comes time to creating a project, all you'll need to do is create a new project over here and associate this project with a client that you have in the system. You can always create a new client if you need to, and just enter all the details as needed. The project name over here should be reflective of what the project actually is. So I can call this one Balboa Beach House and associate this with Jane. And the project code will actually give you the ability to identify at a glance which projects are actually these documents are associated with. So for example, I can enter the project code BBH, and going forward, all of my documents from this project will have the code BBH in the title. So it'll allow me to identify from my big list what is what. I can add a budget if I need it, associate one of my sales tax rates, and the project owner is by default who I am logged in as. And this ownership will translate to the document level and then the item level. If you do have a cover photo, you can always upload it. This is specifically for you to use for your client dashboard, or if you are utilizing our mobile app, it will appear associated with this project. If you know which rooms you will be working on, I would encourage you to add those rooms at this time. So for example, I can add master bedroom, living room, dining room over here. And you'll see over here that I also have now my client's address automatically populated under project addresses. And if you do have a receiving warehouse, you can always select from your address book another address for your shipping purposes. And additional settings down here will show you those same fields that we saw on the company level, where you can set default project memos, emails, and payment settings for this specific project. Okay. But let me go ahead and save it. It is super easy to get started on the system. Now what I would love to do is actually tell you a little bit about one of my personal favorite features, which is our product clipper. The product clipper is an amazing tool to use when you're sourcing products online. And the way to download the product clipper is to simply go into, once again, our support tab right down here. And what you should do is go ahead and click on the product clipper over here. Once you, if you haven't yet added it to your Chrome browser, all you'll need to do is click Add to Chrome, and it will then live on the top of your browser right over here. What that will enable you to do is pull product information from your favorite vendors' websites into your library over here. Now, what we do also support is automated product sourcing or smart sourcing on select vendors' websites. So if you are sourcing from Houzz, CB2, I believe Wayfair, and Build.com, we will automatically scrape information from those vendors' websites into your product library. So let's actually take a look at what that looks like. So I found this sofa on Houzz, and all I need to do to enable the clipper is hover over the image, and I'll see that the clipper leaf icon appears right over here. So I can either click on that or I can click on the leaf icon over here. It's the same, it has the same purpose. And when I click on it, because smart sourcing is enabled, what you'll notice is that all of the relevant information automatically populates into the relevant fields over here. So this is a huge time saver, regardless of what website you are going to be utilizing. If I have any additional images or views that I wish to add, all I need to do once again is select the image and click on the clipper leaf icon right over here. I would encourage you also to bring in the full product title, and I'll show you how you can show a different name to your client. But for your internal purposes, it's always important to keep the original title as it is. Once you pull in the cost, what you'll also want to do is add your markup. So if you have a default markup that you charge for that vendor, you can always add it over here. But if you wish to actually set a specific client price, you know that your budget for this sofa was $3,800, let's say, you can go ahead and set a target price for your client, and we will calculate the markup for you automatically. It's important to remember also that you will never have to worry about any sensitive vendor information, your unit cost, your manufacturer, SKU, all of those details from ever being visible to your client. All of that information is automatically hidden from them. All that they will see is the client price and any additional information that you wish to share with them. Okay. What you'll see over here is a super long client description. We pulled in the full description. However, what you can also do is simply enter a fluffy description for your client to see. So something like velvet sectional. You'll want to categorize your item. These are default categories that appear within your account. You can also associate this with a vendor. And if you don't yet have a vendor list in your account, you can simply create a vendor on the spot. And now I'm going to allocate this directly to my Balboa Beach House project. I know that this is exactly perfect for the project. And because I created this project and created rooms within the project, I can also associate this directly with one of the rooms in that project. You'll see additional details already populated over here. I can add a specific description for the vendor. And if I have any internal notes, I can add them here at this time. So for example, perhaps my internal notes will be the cleaning methods for this piece. All I need to do here is highlight and select the field that I wish to populate. Last but not least, I can also add tags over here so that if I do want to enable myself to find this piece at a glance or easily categorize this, I can simply add a tag like velvet, sectional, so that I can search for this much easier going forward. The way that you can also think about this is if you do have, excuse me, if you do have accessories and you want to specifically track brass accessories, you can always add something specific like that here so that it's easy for you to find going forward. So now I'm going to click Save. And this piece is now automatically in my library. So let's go ahead and see what happens in your library. I'm back in Houzz Pro. I'm going to go ahead and click on Products and Services. And what I'll find over here is that all of the products that I've clipped using the product clipper, or any items that I've manually added to my library, any items that I've added on the go using our mobile app, will be visible over here. And in fact, you'll see that sofa that we just clipped in our product library. So you can access it at any time or repurpose it for future projects. Okay, awesome. So what I would love to do is actually go back into my project, the demo project that we created for our Balboa Beach House, and see how we can track and present and add these beautiful products to visual representations of what we will be sharing with our clients and selling to our clients and having them pay us online going forward. So I'm back in my Balboa Beach House project, and I'm going to go ahead and start with a room board. A room board is a really amazing way to visually present products and services to your client. And it's super easy to make. And the reason that I love starting with room boards is because anything that you add to your room boards will actually serve as the basis of what you will be creating going forward. So these room boards can automatically be converted to proposals or invoices, and we will move all of the information from your room boards to your proposals or invoices and really streamline your processes instead of having to do manual entry in many different places. What I love to say is it's so important to work smarter, not harder, when it comes to running your business. So these rooms were created when we created our project. So you'll see over here that I have these 3 room boards that are blank but ready to go. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to start with my living room project. All I need to do is click on these 3 dots, and I'm going to go ahead and edit the room details here. So what that means is that I can add an image that I have for my desktop. This could be an inspiration image or a rendering or anything that you might think will be visually appealing to your client. And I can set an internal budget here and add a description. Once again, that will be internal. And with this living room now, what you'll notice is that that sectional sofa that we just clipped from the Houzz website, because we allocated it to a project, and more specifically a room within that project, it is already living here in our room board, ready to go. What I can do from here is I can add additional products and services from my library without any issue. And if you do have any sorts of services like installation that you wish to present, you can always add your services here into your room board as well. But what I love about this room board is that it gives you a lot of flexibility in how you want to position things to your client. So for example, with this sofa, if I were to present this to my client with the full product title, it would be really easy for my client to Google this and search for the product and perhaps find it at a cost that is lower than what I'm actually selling it to them. So what you can actually do is go ahead and click on the image. And this will bring a pop-up, which I like to call the 360-degree view, because it will show you all of the details about this product as it moves through its life cycle. And in this 360-degree pop-up, you have the ability to actually set a default client title. So perhaps we can call this sectional option 1. And internally, we still know it's the product title, but to my client, this is now the sectional option 1. If I need to change any details about this product, I still have the ability to do so, whether it is the cost to which I am selling this to my client, or any additional details here. Okay, so I can do that for this sectional option 1. Let me also go ahead and offer this sectional option 2, same thing. And now that I have my 2 sectional options, I actually want to bring them closer together so that my client can see them side by side. So what I will do is I will actually simply drag and drop this right over here. And once again, I can make any additional edits that I need to at this time. And now, like I said, this room board has a couple different functionalities. You can download this room board as a PDF if you want to present it to your client on paper. And in order to do so, I just clicked on the More button and I can download it as a PDF with or without pricing. I speak to a lot of designers and they usually say that at this phase in the project, they are not showing pricing. So you can determine whether you want to do that or not. And I can create this. And it will simply download this as a PDF with all of the items on one sheet. And it's, again, made for you instantly without needing to do any sorts of manual work. So no need to, spend hours on PowerPoint or PDF programs doing this. We do it for you automatically. Additionally, you can also create tear sheets. So the difference with that is that these tear sheets will create 1 tear sheet per product with all the full details, the title, the description, the cost if you want to. And once again, we will hide all of the relevant vendor information from these tear sheets. So I can just create them right over here. And you can download these tear sheets as a PDF, upload them, send them to your client, bring them to your projects, whatever you need to do. And what you'll notice is that these tear sheets actually have your logo, your project name, the room assignment, and all of the different views of these sectional. And this is so amazing because it's literally made for you automatically. Okay? Awesome. So from here, the last thing that I want to tell you about room boards is you also have the ability to add comments to each of these items for your client to view. So let's say this is my top choice for my design. I can simply let my client know, this is my favorite choice. And then this would be perfect for the armchair right over here. Now what I can do is I can simply send this to my client. You'll see that the client's email is populated. A quick hint that I always recommend, best practice, make sure to BCC yourself. You'll see right over here, it will BCC you as the designer who is logged in. And it's just great best practice. If you're ever sending any documents to your client, you want to make sure that you have a record of what was sent to them. We're not an email system. We're not going to be storing this information for you. So go ahead and BCC yourself always. And now you can also set the permissions as to what your client has the ability to see when it comes to this specific room board. Do you want them to see the pricing at this phase in the project? Yes or no? Do you also want them to see the quantity? Maybe it's irrelevant for them to see the square footage of wallpaper that you will actually be laying out. And do you want to give them the ability to approve or decline items? That is completely up to you. But what you can do here is simply send it off. And once you do that, your client will be able to access this document from their inbox. And what it will bring them to is not just their client dashboard, which is branded with your company's information and their logos, but they'll also be able to access any documents that you have sent to them over the course of the project. So this is an amazing way to drive transparency with your client. Send them their project dashboard at the start of the project and say, this is where you'll be able to access all documents created throughout the course of the project. No need for us to go back and forth. What did I pay? What didn't I pay? You can always access that over here. So this room board, let's actually see what it looks like on the client's end. First and foremost, if this is their first time accessing the room board, they will be able to see right over here that you have left a comment for them on this specific piece, which they'll be able to see and respond to. They can see all the other ones. And what you will be able to do, or what your client will be able to do, is actually approve or decline the options as needed. So if this is simply approve, decline, it's super user-friendly for them as well. And of course, what they can also do is click on the items and scroll through them and see the bigger images if they want to. Okay. And what's amazing about this is that all of this happens in real time. So as soon as I come back into Houzz Pro and refresh my page, I'll see all of the different things already populating here with my new comments from my client. Now, the last thing I want to point out to you here is that if your client did ever decline something that should have been approved, for example, like installation services, you can always simply undo their decline on your end. Okay, so as I mentioned, this room board is the starting point for any document that we'll create in the system going forward. So what I can actually do is I can simply convert this to a document, and it will pull all of my approved or pending items. And I can simply select the items I wish to move to a proposal in this case and click convert. Okay, and this is where the magic happens, where all of the relevant details will feed into their appropriate fields. You'll see the title, the description, cost, and the markup. You can set a shipping price here, and you will also see the room assignment right over here. If I had a default memo associated with this project or with my company, I would see it populated over here automatically. And I can also set document tags to identify this at a glance. One of my best practice recommendations is that I would always recommend taking as much money as you can upfront from your clients. You never want to pay out your vendors until you have received payment from your clients. So to protect yourself, I would always recommend trying to collect 100% deposit upfront on your proposals. And that's what I love about this system as well, is that you have the ability to collect payments on proposals without having to create any specific invoices yet. So all I need to do is click save. And once again, I'll be able to send this directly to my client, and they'll be able to see all of the relevant details over here, and I can collect payment. So all I need to do is click send, allow deposit payments. With credit cards, there's a 3% processing fee. Bank transfer has a 1.2% processing fee. You can also give your client the ability to offset the transaction fee to your client if you want to do that. Okay. Once you send it off to them, they'll be able to once again access it from their email, submit a payment if you give them the permissions to do so, or simply submit their approval as well. Okay. If you are taking offline payments, like by check, cash, money transfer, whatever it might be, you can simply record the payment that was received by clicking Add New Payment and record the payment details here. So this proposal is something that can be converted now into an invoice or a purchase order, and will automatically transfer for you the relevant details. So if you're creating a purchase order, we'll move over all of your vendor-facing information, the title, the unit cost, the vendor description, the SKU, the manufacturer, all of the details that your vendor actually has to know. And when you're creating a purchase order, even if you are not buying from a trade vendor or from a vendor that requires you to submit a purchase order, it is really important to create a purchase order for your accounting and reconciliation purposes. Purchase orders are your record of money out, and I highly recommend that you create a purchase order, even if you never send it to your vendor, so that you have that record of money paid out to your vendor. Okay? But one of the things that I want to show you, one of the last things I want to show you, because it's my favorite part of the project, is the project tracker. The project tracker is the heartbeat of your project. It will tell you at any point all of the different products and services that are living within your project and show you the status of those. It will show you the financial breakdown and give you the ability to really report on these functions. So for example, I could see over here my different pieces that we had just proposed. They haven't yet moved to a purchase order, so their latest status is proposed. You'll be able to see all of the relevant details here when it comes to their markup and cost and value. And I'll also be able to see any accounting documents that they're tied to and the status of those documents. And this happens for you automatically. If you do have any shipping and delivery dates you wish to populate, you could do so at this time. And once again, one way that you can add those details is by simply clicking on the little eyeball button, going down to the schedule and entering those details here. But you can also simply select a few items. Let's say they're all coming from the same vendor on the same shipment, and you can simply edit those pieces here with the shipping and delivery information. Okay. Last but not least, with this project tracker, one of my favorite parts of this is the ability to export this project tracker into Excel. So all I need to do here is click on the top right corner, click on Download as Excel, and you'll see that you can pull a custom report with all of the different details that you need. Every single detail about this piece is something that you can pull. So if you do want to do any further manipulation or data entry, you can always do that by pulling this into Excel. Or you can also select a profitability report, which will pull in information about the total selling price of the item from the invoice and show you what your profit is once you have created a purchase order for that piece. Okay. Additionally, this project tracker can also be exported as a PDF into an FF&E schedule. So all I need to do is select FF&E schedule, and you will see the different fields that I have the ability to select here. So what I can do is I can actually select all of the relevant details that I want to show my receiver or use as a checklist on install day, and simply download it as a PDF. And it will just take a moment, but you'll be able to download it right on the spot. And what you'll notice is that it has the photo, it has the title, it has your company's information, the project information. And if there were any dates populated, you would see them over here on the right-hand side. So this is a really amazing way to automate a lot of the things that you're currently doing in the system. Okay. Fantastic. The last thing that I want to tell you about is how you can track your time in the system. We have an amazing time tracker and mobile app, the IV.co mobile app, which will enable you to track your time on the go. So in order to track your time and expenses, all you need to do is click on time and expenses. And it's super simple and easy to use. All you need to do is click on add new entry. And what you'll notice here is that the project is pre-populated. You can select whichever project is relevant. You'll see the designer is logged in as the designer that you are logged in as. I can select my appropriate rate, which will populate here, and I can simply log my time. I can add a description, and I can save it. And this will automatically populate onto a timesheet for this project. So again, I can add new entry. Let's go ahead and add some more. I'm going to add my admin, but I never set up my admin rate, so I'll add it right here. Log my time, and I can say this project plans meeting with GC. Save it. And now that this timesheet has populated with entries, it becomes really easy for you to create an invoice for your time entries in seconds. All you need to do is actually click on the relevant entries that you wish to create a time billing invoice for. Click Generate Invoice. And that's really it. The fields are automatically populated once again with your time entries. You have the ability to request a deposit. And you can simply save this and send it off to your client. Once again, it's branded with your company's logo and information. And your client has the ability to pay you online if you give them the option to do so. And this is what it will look like on their end. It'll have your logo, it'll have all of the details if you want to show that. And if they do decide to pay via bank transfer or credit card, this is what it looks like. It looks super professional. They can just enter their bank details or their credit card details here, or they can select to log in with their bank account. Okay. Awesome. So with that, I know that that was a lot of information, but truly high level, this is what you should know about the system, about how to get started from product sourcing, from setting up your account details, your bank details, making sure that your account settings will allow you to automate the manual repetitive things that you have to do day to day. So just be sure to take advantage of the resources that we have available. If you do ever have any questions, you could just click on the support tab. And what you'll notice is that you have frequently used or frequently asked questions over here. Just by clicking on one of the questions, you'll see a breakdown of videos and informations in our help center. If you're ever looking for additional, more in-depth training, you could just search for webinar, for example, and you'll see all of these advanced webinars that have been hosted. They are usually 45 minutes to an hour long that will deep dive into specific functionalities like room boards, proposals, our integration with QuickBooks, and everything that you need to know associated with that. But we hope that you are able to dive in, get started, and are excited about the changes that this will bring to your business in the most positive way. So with that, I appreciate you tuning in. Hope to talk to you soon and see you soon at one of our events, and hope that you love this system as much as we do. Take care.